Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday morning as we are going live and recording today's episode. My name is Anna Angelova. I am one of the hosts of More Than Just Task Management and co-founder of Plandor. And as usual, I have Jores Fund with me.
Hey everyone, happy Monday.
Mm. So today we actually have a very interesting topic. Lessons on Go achievement from Super Bowl 59. And for most of you, especially like here in Canada, North America, like yesterday was the Super Bowl, and the Eagles won in a very dominant way against KC. And we thought, you know what, it would be interesting uh, to see what did we learn when it comes to goal achievement from the game yesterday. And like we will not dive into the game itself. Like we're both very passionate NFL fans, so without diving into the game itself too much, and all these things that happened, Joris, like I'll actually let you start with what is the first lesson you want to share when it comes to goal achievement, like from what we saw yesterday.
I think the first and foremost is we can learn from. I think one of they don't say it. They stopped using stats because of obvious reasons, but it was an embarrassing history made of NFL for the first time. Such a big deficit, 40-0. Or 37-0, whatever the score was after at the end of the third quarter, and that is the direct reason of putting yourself. The lesson learned would be don't put yourself in a position of failure. Where with the refs, the entire season, with the last 12, especially the last 12 games, KC has been helped by the refs, directed by the commissioner and the NFL head office in New York, has been pushed to repeat the 3 years ago where Eagles lost. I mean, why? Why do you need to do that? Why do we need to do that? Like, they didn't realize everybody thought that KC is still this old, 5 years, the team that was 5 years ago, which is not for other reasons. Diluting of Kelsey into Hollywood and all the rest of they're losing attention. All of that has caused KC not to be the team that qualifies on its own. So pushing them, running a narrative to bring them into Super Bowl just to make it a sensational show, it failed. It became an embarrassing game for the NFL itself. I bet that actually Anna and I both wanted to get on the TV and NFL Network to see if they're talking even about the stats. I don't think they're going to talk about the stats. So why would you put yourself and your entire brand and a great team like KC that was? Why would you do that? In the name of populism, or again, we don't want to answer the why, but we want to take advantage of the result. You see what happens. One of the greatest teams of all time got embarrassed in front of 600 million people globally because they were put into a position of failure. They did not qualify on their own. I hope
Yeah,
I
yeah.
didn't rant on. I'm not, you know how passionate I get about these things, right?
Oh yeah, I know how passionate you get about this, and you're absolutely right. So, and I know we are starting with this part of the lessons, but it's an important lesson, like to not put yourself, your team, your people in a position of failure when you are not qualified to be there. Next year you might be qualified to be there, and that's okay. Like this is how things work. So absolutely, I completely agree with what you're saying, that it puts when it comes to goal achievement, right? Like specifically for Casey, it puts a black mark on their history in a way. But when it comes to goal achievement, when it comes to productivity, when it comes to business success, like absolutely, the lesson learned is don't put people, don't put your team, don't put your organization in a position of failure.
Mm-hmm,
This
mm-hmm,
is absolutely the biggest lesson from KC. And then I love actually like what the Eagles did. And for me, like there are at least a few things there that I personally saw as lessons. First and foremost, the Eagles were a team on a mission. A mission that was fueled partially probably by revenge, because like you said a couple of years ago, they were in this same game. They were in the Super Bowl and they lost with 3 points, like by 3 points. Like it was such a tiny small margin. And the Eagles showed up, offense, defense, special teams. Like they showed up, coaches, like everyone, as a team on a mission. And as business owners, like it shows us what we're capable of when our why is strong enough, when we have a mission and that really inspires everyone, rallies everyone, every single member of our team. And the thing is that sometimes it's okay to use anger or revenge as fuel. Like while this is not sustainable, like the sustainable fuel in the long term,
long term.
it can be the spark that actually fuels it all, right? So this was one of the things for me.
Yeah, and what exacerbated the results that we saw, 40-0, 37-0, was the opposite on KC's side. They lost sight, they lost focus. I don't think they cared about, like we saw it in their faces. They just wanted to get off the field. It's like, I have better things to do in Hollywood or whatever it is that they do in the background. They have absolutely no focus. They have lost focus. They have lost their mission. Their mission was just to get on there, whatever money they get from they've already achieved whatever. They have lost their greatness. And that exacerbated. Even if, like, let's say Eagles were they're coming in, we want to do this. But if KC was a strong team, it would have been one of the best games, so close, like by margins, but 3 seconds on the clock. But we watch some of these games, like Ravens and Bills, or like it becomes such a, yeah.
2 years ago, it was 41-38. KC won 41-38. And everyone actually expected this kind of a game. And absolutely, I love what you're saying, that on one side we had Eagles on a mission, and then on the other side we had KC that they didn't have that missions. Right. And I love it actually that you're bringing this up, because again, it shows the importance. It shows the importance of having a mission. And then it also shows, so for the people who are NFL fans, like that KC won 2 years in a row. So they won the last year and the year before that. And this is one thing that happens. And it's not just with KC. Like these things happen with other teams as well, and with NFL especially, this elusive three-peat, right? So there have been teams that won NFL twice in a row, but no one has really won it 3 times in a row. And one of the things is that we do get complacent, like as people, as human beings. Like this is part of our nature. So as a business owner, what you can learn from this as well is, okay, once your team, once your organization, or if you're a solopreneur, once you reach some kind of a peak, some kind of a big goal, then the thing is, in a way, what's next, right? What are you chasing next? And you might want to, like every few years, you might want to revive your mission. You might want to, like, even in an artificial way, motivate and inspire your people, like create some kind of artificial outside stimulus that motivates your team and keeps them going. Yes, we've achieved this 2 years in a row, 3 years in a row. We doubled our sales last year. We tripled them the year before, for example, right? So how do we keep on growing? And again, it's easy to get complacent. And complacency is one of the things that I was worried actually with the Eagles, that they might get complacent once they were leading with like 10-0 or 17-0. The good thing is that they didn't. But you're right. KC was the example of what happens the whole season they were an example, not just yesterday, of what
No,
happens.
they've lost their focus. They don't want to play football anymore. The focus is now on the spotlight. How do we get the most face time on the TV? Remember, we were talking about yesterday with Isaiah about the insurance company, the startup, that they achieved 400x in the first year. Did you hear what Isaiah said? They want to now achieve another 400 or 200x this year. That's 400x for a startup in 1 year. It's an amazing achievement. But if you lose sight, you're going to spiral down. They're achieving for the next 200x or 400x. That's the thing. Just continue going. Just because you won twice doesn't mean you're the greatest team of all. It's not about the statistics. It's about the sport. Like you say, I think you always say this: keep the core, change things around it, right? So if you keep your core values, which is playing football, be the best football team, and then try to change things around to achieve the three-peat or whatever, you'll win it. You'll do it. You'll become the next Brady and then the Patriots. But they lost it. Here it was the other way around. They said, oh, everything, commissioner will help us, the rest will help us, we'll achieve the three-peat because we're on TV and Hollywood is watching us. In the meantime, they lost focus on playing one of the greatest games ever in history, and they lost. It blew up in their face. Now they have to make drastic changes to be able to probably will take about 2 to 3 years, but they'll make a comeback if they're
Yeah,
the
yeah.
great team that they are.
Yeah, and I love you used the word focus a few times. Absolutely. Like when it comes to goal achievement, focus, focus, focus. Like it's so important to be focused. And this is what we saw from the Eagles yesterday, and what Casey has been showing, like the Chiefs have been showing lack of focus this whole season. So
Oh, yeah.
it's definitely like a key part of goal achievement of success, like whether it's in
Mhm.
sports or business. Like it's key. It's really key, and I love that you
Yeah.
repeated the word so many times.
Yeah, and
And
you saw talk about business, right? So we see the same thing about remember Bed Bath and Beyond?
yeah, oh
They
yeah, yeah, yeah.
they don't exist anymore.
Yeah,
I don't even think that many people remember it anymore. Even the name Vaporize, the brand Vaporize, and Canadian Tire and Walmart came and they gutted all of their real estate and inventory. They're done. Why? Because they lost focus on what it was to run a business, and they focused on parades and other stuff. They and again being in the spotlight and being the darling company of the globalists. Look where they are. They're gone. When it hit the bottom line, so it's the same thing, whether it's in sports or a business, whether it's small business or as big as Bed Bath and Beyond, or that bank in Silicon Valley. They vaporize.
yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
They will not exist. It's incredible. It's not it's like proven over and over and over. And if you focus, you will win. If you don't focus, you may have small wins, but you will not win the war. You will not be big.
Focus on the right things.
Yes,
Focus on the things that
on the
actually
right thing.
matter,
Yeah.
like those core things for that are like the
Mhm.
core things for the business, the core things for the sport team. Like focus on the right thing. When you focus on
Yeah.
the wrong things,
Yeah.
this is what happens. This is what happens. And
Yeah.
I know this is with sports and business and these kind of things. We can probably talk all day long. And just in the interest of time, one last thing I actually wanted to mention from yesterday as a lesson is Jalen Hurts, the way he showed up for the Eagles, how calm and collected he was. Now, would he have been this same leader if the game was going in a little bit of a different way? If Casey scored in the beginning and it was more like 7-7, 10-10? We don't know. But with what happened yesterday, he was calm, he was collected. They kept on, like in general, the Eagles team, like they kept on moving forward with progress, not perfection. Like yes, they scored a touchdown, but then the next time they didn't push for a touchdown, they scored a field goal. And even the way they were running Barkley, right? Saquon Barkley, like
Hmm.
uh, he didn't have a very successful game in terms of
Yardage,
rushing yards, but 2 yards here, 4 yards there, it's what moves you. It what moves you forward, progress over perfection. And then the other thing I really love, because if we think about goal achievement and productivity, they saw that it was not working very well, right? And if you keep on repeating the same thing, so when you have a goal and you try things, like you do something, yes, it moves you a little bit forward, but it doesn't really produce the results that you want. Then you need to stop and think, okay, can I try something else? What else can I try? Yes, I'm moving forward, but this is not giving me what I want, really. Like, it's not really moving me at the speed I want. And suddenly, Barkley was a wide receiver, and he caught, and it's like,
nice, yeah.
So I know actually I mentioned a couple of things. One is the leadership. As a business owner, being the center in the calm of the center in the calm in the storm, right? Being that presence that leads the whole team, if you have a team or when you have a team. And of course, if you're just yourself, solopreneur, lead yourself. Like, be that leadership presence that Hertz was yesterday. And when it comes to goal achievement, progress over perfection, just move forward. And then we talked yesterday about the weekly schedule, right? How to plan your week for success, and it kind of aligns with what the Eagles did yesterday, where they reevaluated. And they reevaluated in the moment, because like in NFL, like we're talking about a Super Bowl, it's a one game that you have like the 4 hours and that's it, right? But they reevaluated things, and when you see, like, as a business owner, solopreneur, entrepreneur, like when you see that things are not moving the way you want them to move, things are not working the way you want them to work, reevaluate. That weekly planning allows you to reevaluate and see, what else can I try? Maybe I can pass to him or over there. Like, knowing, and the other thing is knowing the other aspect of this is knowing your team, like especially when you have a team, right? Knowing their strengths and their weaknesses. Obviously, and I think even Tom Brady was saying as he was commentating that we've been used to seeing Barkley run, right? Like rushing yards, like he runs. But he's actually pretty good at catching the ball as well. So knowing this, like as a team, as a leader, like for the Eagles team, like knowing that he can actually also catch. Yes, he's a running back, but like he can also catch. And using this, that sometimes you might want to try this experiment when something is not working the way you expected. For the short term, you might want to experiment and try something different, so you can gain momentum.
Absolutely. Perfect. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Happy Monday. Enjoy the rest of your week. And we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Yeah, and before we kind of say goodbye, what we actually want to leave you with is, how can you be more like the Eagles were yesterday, today, and this week? Tap into passion and mission, and that fire that moves you and your team forward. Progress over perfection, reevaluating and changing things so you can achieve the goal you are striving to achieve. So we're leaving you with this question. The answer is up to you. Today, this week, how can you be more like the Eagles? And think about it, and then do something. Like, whatever comes as an idea, actually do something. Because I think, Jores, you mentioned it even yesterday, that it's not information, it's not knowledge, it's applied knowledge that matters. So whatever answer you get for yourself, for your team, do it, and be more like the Eagles were yesterday.
Absolutely. And give us your answer tomorrow on our call. Join us.
Oh yeah, and actually you can, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can leave a comment as well, just to share what you've done. And yeah, so have a wonderful rest of the day, and we'll be back tomorrow with another topic related to goal achievement and success in business and life. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Bye, everyone.